Tonight, as you settle into the quiet of your room, I invite you to drift with me into one of the oldest and most mysterious questions humanity has ever whispered. Does the universe have an end, or is it infinite? For thousands of years, philosophers, poets, and scientists have looked up at the same night sky you see now, wondering if beyond the stars lies a final edge, or if the cosmos stretches forever, without boundary, without walls. Modern astronomy tells us that the observable universe extends about 46 billion light-years in every direction, a breathtaking immensity. And yet, even this vast horizon may not be the end. It may only be the limit of what light has reached us since the birth of time itself. Like fruit ripening slowly, the answers of the universe unfold with patience. Each discovery brings sweetness, but also new mysteries. Tonight, let us walk gently through these mysteries together. Breathe slowly, let your body soften, and as galaxies turn quietly overhead, allow this question to cradle you towards sleep. Part 1. Does the universe ever end? Does the universe have an end, or does it go on forever? Close your eyes if you'd like. Imagine yourself floating above Earth, higher than the clouds, higher than the satellites, higher than even the farthest whisper of our atmosphere. Down below, the oceans shimmer like scattered glass, and the continents curve softly into the horizon. But above you, there is only the endless velvet of space sprinkled with points of light. Each star you see is a sun burning quietly, carrying its own story. And yet, behind those stars, more stars, galaxies, millions upon millions, like lanterns drifting across an infinite sea. For thousands of years, thinkers tried to guess the shape of the cosmos. The ancient Greeks imagined crystalline spheres turning around Earth, as if the heavens were a perfect clock. Others believed the universe must end in a hard shell, like an eggshell protecting the world. Centuries later, Galileo lifted a telescope to the sky and found the stars were not painted dots on a ceiling, but scattered across depth, vastness without walls. And today, with the most powerful telescopes, Hubble, the James Webb Space Telescope, we see further still. Scientists estimate that the observable universe stretches about 46 billion light-years in every direction. Not 46 million, not even 46 billion miles, but 46 billion light-years, each light-year being nearly 6 trillion miles. Try to hold that in your mind. A space so large that even light, traveling at 186,000 miles per second, needs billions of years to cross it. But here is the catch. That observable universe is not the same as the whole universe. It is only what light has had time to reach us since the Big Bang, nearly 13.8 billion years ago. Beyond that horizon, there may be more galaxies, more stars, more mysteries, perhaps infinitely more. We simply cannot see them yet, and so the question deepens. If we could travel beyond this horizon, what would we find? Would there be another edge, a final frontier where space and time themselves dissolve into nothingness? Or would the journey go on forever and ever without boundary? Tonight, as you let your body soften into stillness, let's hold this question gently, like a candle flame cupped between our hands. Not as something urgent or frightening, but as a companion for the imagination. For infinity is not something to be solved quickly. It is something to be felt, like the hush of waves at night, or the slow turning of earth beneath your pillow. Scientists, of course, offer models. Some say the universe may be finite, but without an edge, like the surface of a sphere. Imagine walking on Earth. No matter how far you go, you never find a wall, yet the planet is finite. Others believe the cosmos may indeed be infinite, stretching endlessly with no repetition, no walls, no bounds. Both ideas are dizzying. Both ideas remind us how small we are, and yet how wondrous it is to be here, asking these questions at all. And then, there is time. Just as we ask if space has an edge, we wonder, will time itself ever end? Cosmologists study the fate of the universe, whether it will expand forever, grow cold and dark in a heat death, or collapse one day in a big crunch. Each possibility feels like a story half remembered, told by the stars themselves. And as you listen tonight, perhaps your dreams will carry you through each of these endings and beginnings, like soft chapters turning in the night. But for now, think of the universe as a great lullaby, humming softly around you. Every atom in your body was born in the heart of a star. Every breath you take is threaded with molecules that traveled across cosmic distances. You are already infinite in your origins, already endless in your connection to the sky. Sometimes, when astronomers describe the cosmos, they use cold numbers, graphs, equations. But beneath all those numbers is a deep tenderness, the recognition that the universe is not just a place, but a home, and every home has its mystery. Tonight, the mystery is infinity. So breathe with me. Inhale slowly, as if drawing starlight into your chest. Exhale gently, as if sending your worries back into the night. The universe holds them. You do not need to. Perhaps the universe does end. Perhaps it does not. Either way, the horizon keeps inviting us forward. It is like walking through fog. We never see the final step, but each moment reveals just enough to keep going. And here, in this space between knowing and unknowing, is where wonder lives. It is where dreams are born. And it is where, tonight, I hope your own dreams will find their place among the stars. So let us continue, gently, together. For beyond this question of endings lies another one, just as haunting, just as beautiful. If the universe has no edge, then where do we truly belong within it? Part 2, where do we belong in an endless universe? If the universe has no edge, then where exactly do we belong within it? This is the question that stirs softly now, like a quiet chord vibrating under the surface of thought. When you lie awake beneath the stars, it's not just the enormity of the cosmos that unsettles, it's the smallness of yourself within it. A dot, smaller than dust, floating on a pale blue world that spins at 1,000 miles per hour, orbits the sun at 67,000 miles per hour, and sails with the Milky Way itself at more than 500,000 miles per hour. All of this motion, constant, invisible, effortless. We never feel it. But we are passengers on this vast ship, moving through a sea without shore. But belonging is not about size. It is about connection. And connection, strangely enough, is written into the very atoms of your body. Every breath you take contains molecules forged in stars that died billions of years ago. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the oxygen filling your lungs, all of it was cooked in stellar furnaces and scattered through space before Earth was even born. You are not just in the universe. You are the universe, made conscious for a brief moment, able to look back upon itself. So when we ask, where do we belong? The answer is both everywhere and nowhere. Everywhere, because the elements that compose us are universal. Nowhere, because the cosmos is so vast that our place within it seems too tiny to register. But perhaps belonging is not measured in size. Perhaps it is measured in awareness. A single candle flame can light up an entire dark room, and a single consciousness can illuminate an entire universe. Still, there is unease. The more powerful our telescopes grow, the stranger the universe appears. The James Webb Space Telescope has looked deeper than ever before, and what it found does not match our neat models. Galaxies so massive, so ancient, that they should not exist. Black holes older than time itself, as if reality forgot its own rules. Rogue planets drifting in pairs, whispering with strange radio signals. What are we to make of this? Either our science is incomplete, or the universe is hiding truths that we are not yet ready to grasp. Imagine standing at the shore of a great ocean. The horizon looks endless, but the waves bring debris from distant, unseen lands. Every object, an asteroid sweeping past, a comet blazing green, a world without a sun, arrives like driftwood carried by cosmic tides. They remind us that the universe is not static. It is alive with motion, exchange, and mystery. Belonging, then, may mean learning to see ourselves not as rulers of this ocean, but as swimmers carried in its currents. The cosmos is not empty. Invisible matter surrounds us, shaping galaxies like invisible hands. 85% of all matter is dark matter, unseen yet pulling stars together, holding galaxies in place. Without it, the Milky Way would unravel. You are right now, being crossed by streams of dark matter. Trillions of particles flowing through your body each second, like silent visitors. You feel nothing, yet they are there. Isn't that a form of belonging too? That even the invisible fabric of reality acknowledges you in its passing? And beyond dark matter, a deeper strangeness, dark energy, a force not pulling things together, but pushing them apart, expanding the very fabric of space itself. It is as if the universe does not want to rest. It wants to grow, to stretch, to open into infinity. Our galaxies drift apart not because they move, but because the space between them stretches like rubber. And what stretches space stretches us too. We belong not by choice, but by physics. The great expansion is happening inside us as much as around us. But what if this expansion is uneven? Webb has revealed hints that some regions of space expand faster than others, breaking the laws we thought were unbreakable. Could it be that the universe itself is fractured, not one story, but many stories running at once? If so, where do we belong? In a universe that is stable, or one that is tearing itself apart? Perhaps the answer lies not in the present, but in the beginning. The Big Bang was not an explosion in space, it was the creation of space itself. From a point of unimaginable density, space and time unfolded like a blossom, inflating faster than the speed of light. In that first second, the seeds of galaxies were planted, the first whispers of matter stirred, and within those first moments, perhaps black holes formed, ancient and primordial, older than any star. They may still be out there, invisible, wandering, older than light itself. If that is true, then belonging means sharing the universe with entities more ancient than creation, shadows that have watched stars come and go for 13 billion years. And yet, for all this mystery, there is beauty. Stars sing, not with voices, but with vibrations, deep, slow waves that ripple through their cores. Scientists measure these stellar songs by the way the star flickers, a cosmic heartbeat translated into light. Each star has its own frequency, like a fingerprint. Imagine that. The universe is filled with music, inaudible but real. You belong to that symphony simply by existing. You are one note among billions, and without you, the song would not be the same. But still the question whispers, what if the universe ends? Scientists debate its fate. Will it expand forever, growing colder and darker until even atoms drift apart? Will it collapse in a great crunch, all galaxies rushing back to a single point? Or will it recycle endlessly, expansion followed by collapse, like a cosmic heartbeat with no true beginning or end? If the universe cycles, then belonging means you have always been here, in some form, across infinite ages. If it ends, then your belonging is brief, but no less real. Consider this. Light itself has memory. The oldest light we can see, the cosmic microwave background, has been traveling for nearly 14 billion years. It fills every corner of the sky, faint and uniform, a quiet glow that carries the memory of the universe's childhood. That light passes through you too, gently touching your eyes, whispering a story older than stars. If light can carry memory across billions of years, then perhaps you too carry memory across the infinity of existence. And so, where do we belong? The answer is not found in maps or coordinates. It is found in perspective. You belong wherever you decide to notice the beauty around you. You belong wherever wonder stirs in your chest. You belong because you are here, listening, thinking, imagining. That alone is enough. But the universe is not done with its questions. For if we belong within it, then another question arises, more unsettling, more profound. What if the universe itself belongs to something even greater? What if our cosmos, infinite to us, is just one ripple in a sea of countless universes? And if so, are we ready to understand what lies beyond our own horizon? That is where we will drift next. Part 3. What if our universe is only one of many? Imagine this. You are standing at the edge of an ocean at night. The waves are dark, endless, rolling toward you. But what if the ocean you see is not the only one? What if, just beyond the horizon, Another ocean lies, and beyond that, another and another still, stretching into eternity. This is the unsettling thought that lingers when we ask whether our universe is truly all that exists. For decades, cosmologists believed the Big Bang was the beginning and the totality. One universe, one timeline, one story. But cracks in that neat narrative have appeared. Strange cold spots in the cosmic microwave background, anomalies in expansion rates that do not match, galaxies forming faster than they should, black holes too ancient for their age. What if all of these are hints, faint fingerprints of other universes brushing against ours? In physics, there is a word for this possibility: the multiverse. It sounds like science fiction, but it has grown from real equations and real puzzles. According to inflation theory, in the very first moments after the Big Bang, space itself expanded faster than light. Not just in our region, but everywhere. Some regions may have stopped inflating and formed universes like ours, while others may still be inflating, birthing bubble universes endlessly. Picture champagne bubbling in a glass. Each bubble is a universe sealed in itself, never touching the others, except perhaps when they collide. And here is the haunting part. There are faint signals in our universe that suggest such collisions may have happened. A vast cold region in the southern sky, detected in the background radiation, refuses to be explained away. Some scientists whisper that it may be the scar of another universe brushing against ours in those first moments. Imagine two soap bubbles pressed together, their surfaces touching. Did we once touch another cosmos? And if so, did it leave behind traces, quiet and unreadable, in the very light we see today? The James Webb Space Telescope has begun peering deeper than any before it, capturing light from galaxies born just 200 million years after the Big Bang. Some of these galaxies are too large, too mature, too organized to fit our models. How could order come so quickly unless it had been seeded from beyond? Could matter, energy, or even structure have leaked from a neighboring universe, accelerating ours like a spark lighting dry grass? We do not know. But the question persists. If other universes exist, what are they like? Some may be similar, with stars, planets, and life. Others may be alien beyond imagining, universes with different laws of physics, where gravity repels instead of attracts, where light travels at different speeds, where time does not flow at all. To us, they are incomprehensible, but to them, we are the impossible ones. And so we arrive at a paradox. If other universes exist, we may never reach them. They are separated from us by walls of inflating space, unreachable, unknowable. Yet if their fingerprints are written in our sky, then we are not as alone as we thought. Our universe may be part of a larger cosmic tapestry, threads woven together across dimensions we cannot see. But where does that leave us? If the universe is infinite, we already feel small. If it is one of countless others, we feel even smaller still. And yet, there is another perspective. If infinite universes exist, then everything possible may exist somewhere. There may be a version of you sitting in another world, looking up at another sky, asking the same question. There may be Earths where history unfolded differently, where civilizations rose and fell in unfamiliar ways. There may even be versions of you that never were, choices unmade, lives unlived. The multiverse is not just a scientific puzzle. It is a mirror held to human longing and regret. But let's return to the science, for it is stranger still. Quantum mechanics, the theory that governs the tiniest particles, already hints at multiple realities. When an electron is observed, it chooses one state. But before observation, it exists in many states at once, superposed like overlapping songs. Some physicists argue that each possibility is real, that every choice spawns another universe. In one universe, the coin lands heads. In another, it lands tails. In one, you stayed. In another, you left. In one, you are listening to this story. In another, you never found it. It is a dizzying idea that reality itself may branch endlessly, splitting into countless threads. If true, then the question, where do we belong, shifts again. We may belong not to one universe, but to a vast tree of universes, each branch carrying a slightly different version of the story of existence. And still, there is the silence. For all our equations and dreams, we cannot yet see another universe. We can only suspect. Like sailors navigating by stars, we steer by hints. Cold spots, unexplained galaxies, the strangeness of quantum choice. Our instruments grow sharper, our theories grow bolder, but the multiverse remains a ghost, haunting the edges of thought. Now let us pause. Breathe slowly. Imagine yourself drifting, not just through space, but through layers of space. Each layer is a world, thin as glass, stacked upon another. You move through them like a dreamer drifting through sleep, never quite touching, but always near. That is how scientists describe the higher dimensions. Parallel brains, floating in a higher reality. If they ever collided, the impact would be apocalyptic, birthing a universe anew. Could our Big Bang have been such a collision? Could it happen again? If so, then perhaps our universe is not the first, nor the last. Perhaps universes rise and fall in endless succession, each leaving whispers in the dark for the next to discover. If this is true, then belonging means being part of an eternal chain, a single bead in a necklace of infinity. But here is the thought that keeps one awake. If the universe can birth universes, then what birthed it all? What lies beyond even the multiverse? An ultimate reality? A source beyond sources? Or is that too only one bubble in an ocean without end? The night deepens. The stars outside your window shine with their quiet light, unaware of the questions stirring in your mind. Or perhaps they are not unaware. Perhaps in some subtle way, the stars are the answer. Reminders that we do not need to grasp everything to belong. It is enough to wonder, enough to ask, enough to listen. Still, as you soften toward rest, the thought lingers like a gentle whisper. If the universe is only one among many, then what does that mean for time itself? If other universes flow differently, could time run slower there, faster here? Could time even stop? And if time is not absolute, then what does it mean for our own lives, for our brief journey between birth and death? That is where we will go next, into the mystery of time. Part 4, When Time Bends and Breaks. Tonight, let us follow a more intimate thread of the cosmos, the thread of time itself. For what is the universe without time? A painting without motion, a song without rhythm, a dream without memory. Yet time, the thing we think we know best, may be the strangest illusion of all. You feel time in your own body, the soft pulse of your heart, the rise and fall of your chest, the slow drifting of thoughts as you settle into rest. A second seems so simple. A minute, an hour, a day. They feel steady, absolute. But are they? Albert Einstein in 1905 dared to whisper a different story. He showed us that time is not fixed. It bends, it stretches, it slows down and speeds up, depending on how fast you move or how close you are to gravity. Imagine two twins. One remains on Earth. The other boards a spacecraft traveling close to the speed of light. When the traveler returns, he finds his sibling older while he is barely aged. This is not a science fiction tale. It is a truth confirmed by experiment. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station, orbiting at 17,000 miles per hour, experience time slightly differently than we do. Tiny differences, measured by atomic clocks, prove that speed changes the rhythm of time. And gravity plays its tricks, too. Place two identical clocks, one at sea level and another on a mountain. The one closer to Earth's core ticks ever so slightly slower. The difference is minuscule, but real. It means that even here, on this very planet, time is not universal. Your minutes are not the same as the minutes of someone high above you. If that is true, then what is time? A river flowing evenly, or a fabric that can be stretched and warped by mass and motion? Scientists describe it as woven into space itself, space-time. A seamless cloth where matter bends the fabric, and that bending is what we feel as gravity. When you sit still, the Earth curves space-time beneath you, keeping you tethered. When you look at the stars, their light bends along invisible arcs, distorted by space-time's curvature. And through this fabric, time flows, not as a universal tick, but as a local rhythm, changing with the shape of reality itself. Now, let us drift toward the most extreme places in the universe, black holes. Imagine standing at the edge of one. To you, outside, time flows normally. But to someone falling in, their clock slows down relative to yours. From your perspective, they seem frozen at the horizon, caught forever at the edge. To them, however, time carries them inward without pause. Two truths, both real, both incompatible, and yet they coexist. Black holes show us that time can nearly stop, or appear to, from different vantage points. Does that mean time itself is fragile? Could it shatter, pause, or even reverse? Some theories suggest that before the Big Bang, time as we know it did not exist. The universe was in a timeless state, pure potential waiting for release. When the Big Bang occurred, time began, not as an endless line extending backward forever, but as a thread woven fresh, finite in age, stretching forward. But if time had a beginning, could it have an end? Here, the science becomes both chilling and wondrous. If the universe expands forever, galaxies will drift apart until even atoms decay, leaving a frozen silence, an eternal night called heat death. In such a cosmos, time would still tick, but nothing meaningful would happen. It would be a clock without a story, a rhythm without music. Yet other models suggest collapse, a big crunch where time itself might reverse, running backward as the universe shrinks. If true, then time may not be a straight arrow at all, but a cycle, expansion, collapse, rebirth, again and again. But even in our everyday lives, time feels slippery. Remember a childhood summer. A single afternoon could feel endless, yet a decade disappears in a blink. Time is not only measured by physics, it is also shaped by perception. Perhaps that is why the universe feels so mysterious, because we ourselves are poor clocks, caught between subjective memory and objective measurement. And here lies the paradox. Science tells us time is relative. Psychology tells us time is elastic. But what if both are fragments of something deeper? That time is not fundamental at all, but emergent. Some physicists whisper that time may not be a basic ingredient of the universe, but a shadow, an effect of deeper laws we have yet to glimpse. Like foam on a wave, time may rise and fall, not as a thing itself, but as the outcome of invisible patterns below. Pause now. Take a breath. Feel how even as you lie still, the planet spins, the Earth moves around the sun, the galaxy wheels through space. You are already traveling through time and space, effortlessly. You belong to this river, whether or not it is an illusion. And yet, if time can bend, could we ever bend it ourselves? Could we travel into the past or leap forward into the future? The mathematics of relativity suggest that future travel is possible, at least in theory. Move close to light speed, and centuries may pass outside while minutes pass for you. Or, in that sense, astronauts are already time travelers, stepping minutely into the future with every orbit. But the past? That is more dangerous. Closed time loops, paradoxes, contradictions, science stumbles here, unsure whether the past can be rewritten or if the universe itself forbids such trespass. Still, the thought lingers, like a forbidden melody. If time is not absolute, then perhaps it is not closed either. Perhaps there are paths, yet unseen, that loop backward, hidden tunnels through space-time. And if such paths exist, what stories wait on the other side? Could ancient civilizations have glimpsed them, writing myths of eternal return? Could our own descendants one day use them to reach us, leaving echoes we mistake for gods or dreams? No one knows. But the very fact that time can stretch, slow, or warp means that it is not the prison we once believed. Time is a veil, and like all veils, it can be lifted, revealing what lies beyond. And so, as you drift towards sleep, let the question cradle you. If time bends, could it one day break? And if it breaks, could we step through the fracture, into the future, into the past, into something stranger still? That is where we will travel next. Part 5, can we travel through time? What if you could walk not only across the Earth, not only across the stars, but across time itself? Tonight, as you lie still and breathe, let us wander into one of the most unsettling, most irresistible questions of all. Is time travel possible? The thought alone stirs something deep inside us. Perhaps it is the longing to revisit moments we have lost. A childhood day, a loved one's smile, a chance unchosen. Or perhaps it is the thrill of stepping into futures unknown, to see cities we cannot yet imagine, to meet descendants whose lives depend on choices we make now. Time travel is more than fantasy. It is a mirror for our deepest desires and regrets. But could it be real? Physics whispers, perhaps. For already we are all traveling into the future. With every breath, every blink, we move forward 1 second per second. This is the simplest form of time travel, inescapable, universal. But what if we could bend that rhythm? Could we go faster? Could we even turn back? Einstein's theory of relativity tells us yes, at least in part. The faster you move, the slower time flows for you relative to others. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station, circling the Earth, experience time slightly differently from those on the ground. Atomic clocks flown on airplanes confirm it. Speed alters time's flow. If you could approach the speed of light, centuries could pass outside while only days passed for you. To the traveler, the journey is short. To those left behind, an age has gone by. Already, relativity has given us the blueprint for forward time travel. But what of the past? That is the shadow at the edge of the dream. To return is to court paradox. Imagine going back and preventing your own birth. Imagine meeting your younger self, or altering a choice whose consequences ripple forward. Would reality unravel? Would another timeline be born? Some physicists argue that the past is sealed. Others whisper that the universe may branch, like a tree splitting into countless futures. In one branch, you return and change everything. In another, you never left. In another still, both versions coexist. This is the multiverse interpretation of time travel, where every action creates a new world. It is elegant but haunting. If true, then you could never truly change your own past. You could only create another reality, leaving your original untouched. Yet, mathematics continues to tempt us. General relativity allows for loops in spacetime, called closed, time-like curves. In theory, they are paths that circle back on themselves, carrying a traveler not only forward, but back. One solution is a rotating universe, first suggested by Kurt Gödel in 1949, where the cosmos itself twists like a spiral, allowing a ship to trace a loop into its own history. Another is the idea of wormholes, tunnels through spacetime, shortcuts linking distant points. If a wormhole's mouths move differently in time, one could act as a time machine, step in through one side, and emerge not only elsewhere, but elsewhen. But wormholes, if they exist, are unstable, likely to collapse in a flash of radiation. Could exotic matter with negative energy stabilize them? We do not know. And here, speculation blurs with imagination. Still, science finds strange hints. The universe seems to contain regions we cannot explain. Cold spots, anomalies in the background light. Could these be scars of cosmic events where space-time folded, perhaps even linking to other times? Could relics of time fractures be hidden in the data, waiting to be understood? Beyond equations, there are experiments. In 2019, researchers at Google's Quantum Lab performed a simulation that mimicked reversing the state of a quantum system, as if turning time back for particles. It was not true time travel, but it was a whisper. Time may not be as rigid as it seems. If at the quantum level time can bend, who knows what larger scales may one day reveal? And then there are black holes. At their centers, gravity warps space-time so intensely that all paths lead inward. All futures collapse into the singularity. But some models suggest that inside, time and space may exchange roles. Time becomes space, and space becomes time. Could such regions connect to another universe? Another era? Could falling into a black hole be falling into the past of something else? Or would it be only the end? A one-way journey into silence. Now pause for a moment. Breathe gently. Feel how strange it is that we live at all in a reality where such questions are even possible. Time is not just the ticking of clocks. It is the canvas of existence. And if the canvas itself can bend, perhaps we are only at the beginning of understanding. But let us not forget the human side. If time travel were real, would it comfort us or torment us? To go back might mean never moving forward. To see the future might strip us of hope or fill us with fear. Perhaps time is merciful in its one-way flow, allowing us to live only once with no edits, no rewinds. Perhaps the very impossibility of travel into the past is what gives life its meaning. And yet hope remains, because if even one path exists, even if hidden, even if unreachable today, then someday, tomorrow, or in 1,000 years, someone may walk it. The dream of time travel persists, not because it is proven, but because it refuses to die. Like a star that collapsed but whose light still travels, the idea shines, carrying us forward. And so, where does this leave us tonight? We cannot yet step into machines and spin their dials. We cannot yet open wormholes and walk into yesterday. But we can imagine. And sometimes imagination is the seed of discovery. 100 years ago, relativity was only theory whispered on paper. Today, GPS satellites rely on it, correcting their clocks for time's warping so that your phone can guide you home. What seems impossible may one day be ordinary. As you close your eyes, think of this. Time is not fixed. It is not absolute. It bends, stretches, and perhaps, someday, it may even fold. If it does, then maybe, just maybe, we will find the door. And beyond that door, another riddle waits. If we can move through time, then what of memory? What of identity? If versions of ourselves exist in different branches, what does it mean to be you? Could the self itself be as fluid as time? Beyond this thought lies another question waiting in the dark. Part 6. Who are we if the self is not fixed? In the silence of night, after the clocks have ticked their last note and the streets have fallen quiet, a question hovers heavier than most. Who are you, really? You carry a name, a face, a memory. Yet if time bends, if universes split, if countless versions of you might be wandering elsewhere, what does it mean to be you? Memory gives us the illusion of continuity. Every morning you wake with fragments of yesterday stitched together, forming a story you call identity. But what if memory is only a fragile recording device, as fallible as any machine? Neuroscience shows that each time you recall an event, the memory rewrites itself, changing subtly. You think you remember truth, but you may be remembering your last recollection. The past is not a library of solid books. It is a palimpsest, rewritten each time you look. If memories are unstable, is the self that relies on them any less fragile? And then there is the matter of branching universes. In one version of reality, you chose to stay. In another, you left. In one, you found this story. In another, you never did. If each branch holds a different you, then which one is authentic? The unsettling answer is all of them. Each is real, each equally valid. Identity, then, may not be a singular point, but a spectrum, a cloud drifting across possibilities. Physics, too, adds to the mystery. In quantum mechanics, particles exist in many states until observed. Some interpretations say that each possibility is realized, spawning countless parallel outcomes. If so, then there is not one you, but many, a multitude of selves, all born from choices, accidents, and chance. Perhaps identity is not the candle flame we thought it was, singular, steady, but more like starlight, scattered, reflected, refracted across countless worlds. But let's come closer. Consider your own body. In 7 to 10 years, nearly every atom in you is replaced. The calcium in your bones, the proteins in your muscles, the water in your blood, all refreshed, exchanged with the environment. You are not the same material being you once were. And yet, you still feel continuous, still feel like you. If the atoms are not fixed and the memories are not fixed, what anchors the self? Perhaps consciousness itself. That quiet awareness that says, I am here now. But even that is slippery. Neuroscientists can watch brain activity and find no single place where you reside. There is no control room, no glowing kernel of identity. Instead, the brain is a network, billions of neurons firing in patterns, shifting like constellations in the night sky. Today's pattern is not tomorrow's, and yet, somehow, continuity persists. Maybe identity is not an object at all, but a process, a song the brain keeps singing even as the notes change. And yet, if time splits, If parallel selves exist, then that song is not singular either. Each branch hums its own version, with its own melody. You are not one song, but a chorus. The unsettling part is not that the self can change. The unsettling part is that it always has. We are simply too close to hear it. Now let us extend this further. If memory is fragile, and matter transient, and consciousness emergent, then perhaps identity is not meant to be fixed. Perhaps it is fluid by design, as adaptable as water, as shifting as clouds. Think of rivers. They flow, they twist, they bend. The water that touches your hand today is gone tomorrow, replaced by new currents. Yet we still call it the same river. In the same way, maybe you are not a fixed self, but a flowing one, ever-changing, yet continuous in its motion. But then arises the ancient question, if the self is not fixed, then who is it that observes? When you close your eyes and feel your thoughts, who is listening? Some philosophers call it the witness. Others call it pure awareness. Whatever name we give it, it feels more stable than memory, more enduring than matter. Could it be that beneath all the fluid identities, there is a deeper layer of self, not bound by change? Science hesitates here, for it cannot measure the witness, yet physics points to strange parallels. The universe itself may be a witness. Every particle that interacts, every photon that travels, carries information. Some physicists argue that information can never be destroyed, not even in black holes. If so, then perhaps you too cannot be destroyed. Not your body, not your story, but the information that defines you. In that sense, identity is not erased. It is transformed, preserved in the cosmic archive. Pause now and imagine this. Somewhere in another universe, another you wonders the same thing. Somewhere in the past, a younger you dreamed of the future. Somewhere in the future, an older you remembers this very moment. They are all threads of the same tapestry, woven through time and possibility. You belong to them all, yet none contains you entirely. And this leads to a final thought for tonight's chapter. If the self is not fixed, if identity is not singular, then perhaps you are larger than you realize. Perhaps you are not one being at all, but an echo across time, a reflection across universes, a story written not once, but endlessly. And if that is true, then the question deepens once more. Is consciousness itself only an illusion of matter, or is it something greater, something woven into the very fabric of the cosmos? Every answer births another question. Let's see where it leads. Part 7. Consciousness and the Cosmic Thread. Close your eyes now. Feel the quiet inside you. Thoughts drift by like clouds. Sensations rise and fall, yet something deeper remains. The awareness that notices it all. That silent watcher, steady and unmoved, we call consciousness. But what is it? Is it only neurons firing in the folds of your brain? Or is it something larger, something that binds us to the stars? For centuries, philosophers and scientists have wrestled with this question. To the materialist, consciousness is simply the byproduct of matter, the brain's chemistry producing the sensation of a mind. Billions of neurons communicating in patterns, each firing like sparks in a vast forest at night. Complex enough, and the illusion of I arises. This is the view many hold today. Yet the mystery refuses to dissolve. If consciousness is only matter, why does it feel so immaterial? You can measure a neuron, weigh a brain, track electrical currents, but you cannot find the glow of awareness itself. It is like trying to capture the flame of a candle with your hand. You can feel the heat, but never grasp the fire. Some scientists now whisper that consciousness may not just emerge from matter, but may be woven into reality itself. Imagine it as a fundamental field, like gravity or electromagnetism. Just as particles swim through invisible forces, maybe minds swim through consciousness. Your brain is not the source, but the receiver, the radio tuned to a cosmic broadcast. The frequency is yours, but the signal belongs to the universe. And there are clues. Quantum physics, that restless trickster, shows us that the act of observation changes reality. A particle behaves differently when measured, as if awareness itself shapes its destiny. Does this mean that consciousness is not merely in us, but part of the fabric of existence? What if every photon, every atom, carries a spark of awareness waiting to combine into the glow we call mind? Pause and consider. The atoms in your body were once in stars. The molecules in your cells were once drifting clouds in space. If consciousness arises from matter, then perhaps the universe itself was always conscious in some sense, waiting for complexity to awaken. You are not an accident of neurons. You are the cosmos learning to look back at itself. And this awareness is not fixed. Your brain hums in rhythms. Alpha waves when you relax, beta when you focus, theta when you drift toward dreams. In deep sleep, delta waves roll slow and heavy, carrying you into silence. Consciousness shifts states like tides, proving it is not one thing but a spectrum. Some call this evidence of the brain's adaptability. Others wonder, are these rhythms the brain tuning into different layers of the universal signal? Ancient traditions intuited this long ago. Mystics spoke of the mind as a drop in a boundless ocean. Meditation teaches that the self dissolves, revealing awareness not as personal but universal. Modern science, with its brain scans and equations, is only now circling back to this possibility, that the self is not the true core. The witness, the awareness, may be shared by all beings, by all things. If that is true, then consciousness is not confined to you. It ripples outward, like light, touching everything. When you look at the stars, they do not only shine upon you, you shine back upon them with awareness. The cosmos is not silent, it is mirrored in your mind. But here lies the strange paradox. If consciousness is universal, why does it feel so private? Why do you feel trapped in your own thoughts, unable to cross into another's? Perhaps individuality is the price of focus. The cosmic signal fractures into countless receivers, each tuned to its own channel, alone yet connected, separate yet one. This leads us to a haunting question. When your body dies, does the signal end, or does it simply retune? If the brain is a receiver, then consciousness may not perish with it. It may drift, reconnect, flow into new forms. Science cannot confirm this, but the possibility lingers like a quiet hope or a soft fear. Let us return to the stars. The Milky Way is laced with a cosmic web of filaments, vast structures of galaxies connected by invisible threads of dark matter. Map them out, and they look eerily like the neurons of a brain. Patterns echo patterns. Could it be coincidence, or a sign that the universe and mind are mirrors? One vast outside, one vast inside, both woven from the same design. Imagine this. When you think, when you dream, when you wonder, your consciousness is not contained. It flows into that cosmic web, like a ripple entering a pond. Somewhere, maybe across light years, maybe in another dimension, another ripple answers. Awareness may be the hidden glue, the secret dialogue between matter and meaning. And yet, for all this wonder, the skeptics remain. They say, no, consciousness is nothing more than neurons. No cosmic signal, no universal mind. Only chemicals, only firing circuits. And perhaps they are right. But even if consciousness is only the brain, is it not still miraculous? Billions of cells, trillions of connections, weaving the tapestry of thought, memory, love, fear, wonder. Out of cold atoms, warmth arises. Out of matter, meaning is born. That alone is extraordinary. But suppose the skeptics are wrong. Suppose consciousness is fundamental. Then we are not observers of the universe. We are participants, co-creators. The universe is not separate from you, but within you. Every glance, every thought, every dream adds to its unfolding. Your awareness is not small. It is cosmic. So tonight, as you drift towards sleep, let this thought comfort you. You are not merely a fragile mind in a temporary body. You are a note in a symphony, played by the cosmos itself. And even when your individual song ends, the music goes on. Perhaps you will return as another note, in another time, in another form. Perhaps you are already playing in ways you cannot hear. But this raises the next deeper question, one that whispers like a star half hidden in fog. If consciousness is indeed part of the universe itself, could it be that the universe is conscious too? Could galaxies, black holes, even the cosmos as a whole possess awareness? That is where we will journey next. Part 8. The Conscious Universe. What if, when you gaze at the night sky gazes back? What if the glittering stars are not only silent lights, but neurons in a mind too vast to comprehend? Tonight, let us explore the most daring question of all. Is the universe itself conscious? For millennia, humans sensed that the cosmos was alive. Ancient myths spoke of the sky as a god, the earth as a mother, the stars as ancestors. These were not scientific statements, but intuitions, that the world around us was more than inert matter. In the modern age, science stripped away those myths, teaching us that the universe is mechanical, a vast machine of particles and forces. And yet, as our instruments grow sharper, patterns emerge that bring us back to that ancient intuition. Look at the cosmic web, the vast scaffolding of galaxies stretching across billions of light years. It is not random. It forms filaments, clusters, and nodes bound together by invisible dark matter. When mapped, it looks uncannily like the neural network of a brain. Both are vast webs of nodes connected by filaments. Both transmit information. Both grow more complex over time. The comparison may be metaphor, but it is eerie. Could the universe itself be a brain and galaxies its neurons? And consider this, your brain contains about 86 billion neurons. The observable universe contains roughly 2 trillion galaxies. Numbers echo numbers, scales echo scales. If complexity and connectivity give rise to awareness in us, why not in the cosmos itself? Philosophers call this idea panpsychism, that consciousness is not rare, but universal, that everything from atoms to stars carries a spark of awareness. Most dismiss it as poetic speculation, yet physics leaves the door ajar. If matter and energy can shape time and space, if observation itself alters the quantum world, then why assume consciousness is limited only to brains of carbon and water? Perhaps consciousness is not an accident of biology, but a property of reality itself. Imagine the universe as a vast ocean. Each galaxy is a wave, each star a drop, each mind a ripple. Alone, each ripple is small, but together they form the sea. Your awareness, my awareness, the awareness of every living creature may be threads in a larger tapestry. The universe does not simply contain consciousness. It may be consciousness. But if this is true, how would we know? A brain reveals its awareness through signals, through patterns, through behavior. Could the universe reveal itself in the same way? Some argue it already has. The fine-tuned laws of physics, balanced so precisely that life can exist, feel less like coincidence and more like design. The emergence of galaxies, stars, and planets following rules yet blossoming into beauty resembles not a machine but a story. And stories are told by minds. Pause here and let yourself feel it. The stars above are not merely distant balls of plasma. They may be part of a larger awareness, one that moves too slowly, too vast for us to detect. A mountain seems lifeless, yet it moves inch by inch across ages. Perhaps the universe too thinks, but its thoughts unfold in billions of years, too slow for us to recognize. To a mayfly that lives one day, a human seems immortal. To us, the universe seems silent. But what if it is simply speaking in a language of eons? The idea is intoxicating and frightening. For if the universe is conscious, then we are inside its mind. Every act, every thought, every dream you have is part of that mind's activity. You are not separate. You are a neuron in a cosmic brain, firing your tiny signal into the great network of existence. Alone, your spark may seem small, but collectively, the sparks of countless beings may be how the universe knows itself. Some scientists whisper another possibility, that the universe is like a computer. Every interaction, every exchange of particles, every bit of energy is a calculation. Reality may be processing information step by step, as if running a program. If so, then consciousness could be the output of that program, scaled up to cosmic size. You are not in a simulation. You are part of the processor. The stars, the galaxies, the void itself, all circuits in a universal mind. But here lies the haunting question. If the universe is conscious, does it dream? When galaxies collide, when stars are born, when black holes devour, are these thoughts? Are these emotions? Could cosmic events be the inner life of a being so vast we cannot comprehend it? And if it dreams, does it dream of us? Consider again the strange anomalies we find. The cold spot in the cosmic microwave background, inexplicable. The bizarre alignment of galaxy spins across billions of light years, as if coordinated. The impossible black holes Webb has found, older than they should be. Could these be more than puzzles? Could they be signs of intention, the unconscious murmurings of a cosmic mind? Skeptics remind us, beware of anthropomorphism. The universe is not human, not a person, not a willful God. Perhaps these patterns are coincidence or misunderstood physics, perhaps. Yet, even if the universe is not conscious in a human sense, the idea that it participates in awareness through us is undeniable. For here we are, conscious, made of its atoms, breathing its air, thinking with its particles. In us, the universe has achieved self-awareness. In our eyes, it looks at itself. In our thoughts, it contemplates itself. And that realization alone is enough to blur the line. Whether or not the cosmos is a conscious being, through us it is conscious. We are not spectators in an empty arena. We are the arena, waking up. Tonight, let that truth comfort you. You are not small. You are not lost in an indifferent void. You are a cell in a vast body, a note in a vast song, a neuron in a vast mind. Your life matters not because you control the universe, but because you complete it. Without you, its awareness is less. With you, it is whole. But if the universe is conscious, or if it is aware through us, then the question grows sharper. Could it be trying to communicate? Are the strange signals we detect, radio bursts, unexplained alignments, cosmic whispers, simply natural events? Or could they be messages? If the cosmos has a mind, what would it say to us? And would we even understand? That is where we will go next. Part 9, The Universe Speaks. What if the universe has been whispering to us all along, and we have only just begun to notice? For centuries, the night sky seemed silent, an endless dome of stars unmoved by our questions. But as we built telescopes, radio dishes, and detectors sensitive enough to capture faintest murmurs, the silence cracked. Strange pulses of energy, bursts of radio waves from deep space, signals that arrive and vanish in milliseconds, fast, bright, and unexplained. We call them FRBs, fast radio bursts. Some originate from billions of light years away, their energy in a single instant rivaling what our sun emits in days. Others repeat irregularly, like a heartbeat we cannot predict. Natural phenomena, most scientists say. Yet something about them unsettles. They appear and disappear without pattern, as if written in a language too vast for us to read. But FRBs are not alone. The universe hums with signals. Pulsars, neutron stars spinning hundreds of times a second, emit beams of radio light so precise they rival atomic clocks. To some, they feel like cosmic lighthouses. To others, like beacons built by design. And then there are gravitational waves, ripples in space-time itself, washing over Earth as black holes collide millions of light years away. We can hear them now, not with ears, but with instruments sensitive enough to feel the tremor of reality. Each wave is a message from a cataclysm we cannot see, a whisper carried across billions of years. If the universe is conscious, these may be its voice, deep, slow, resonant. Pause here. Imagine the universe as a giant instrument, vibrating with countless strings. Every star, every planet, every collision is a note. Together they weave a music too vast for one mind to hear. We catch only fragments, brief melodies drifting through the static. And yet, even those fragments feel deliberate, meaningful, as if they were meant to be noticed. There is more. In 1977, a radio telescope in Ohio detected a signal unlike any other, a burst at the frequency of hydrogen, the most common element in the cosmos, lasting 72 seconds. Astronomer Jerry Amon circled it on the printout and wrote, "Wow," to mark his astonishment. It became famous as the "wow" signal. It has never repeated. For decades, it has lingered as a ghost of possibility. Was it interference, or was it something, saying hello? And then, more recently, scientists detected narrowband radio emissions from the direction of Proxima Centauri, the star closest to our Sun. The signal has not been confirmed, but for a brief moment, humanity wondered, was it natural or a message? If the universe is conscious, maybe these are not random. Maybe every burst, every wave, every anomaly is a syllable, part of a language older than stars. We are infants learning to listen, mistaking thunder for silence. What if the universe is not mute at all, but endlessly eloquent? But here lies the difficulty. How do you separate a message from noise? When you hear the wind in trees, is it whispering meaning, or are you the one imagining? The line between pattern and coincidence is thin, yet human minds are wired to find meaning. And so the skeptic asks, are we projecting consciousness onto chaos? Still, consider this. Every time we thought we had reached the edge of mystery, the universe surprised us. We thought Earth was the center, it was not. We thought the stars were eternal, they are not. We thought our galaxy was all there was, it is not. Each revelation has shown that reality is larger, stranger, more alive than we believed. If the universe speaks, why assume we cannot learn its language? And perhaps we already have. Every law of physics, every constant of nature, the speed of light, the strength of gravity, the charge of the electron, is a message. They are the grammar of reality. If even one were slightly different, life could not exist. Some say this is chance. Others whisper, perhaps the universe tuned itself, the way a musician tunes strings, so that consciousness might arise to listen. Now breathe slowly. Imagine yourself as an antenna. Your thoughts, your feelings, your heartbeat are vibrations. Perhaps you are not only listening to the universe, you are part of its signal. Consciousness within you may be how the universe speaks back to itself across distances too vast for words. And yet, what if the signals are more direct? What if FRBs, pulsars, even the cosmic microwave background itself are not only physics, but messages coded in physics? Imagine the oldest light in the cosmos, stretched across billions of years, carrying with it not only energy, but meaning, patterns we have yet to decode. Imagine that woven into the noise of creation is a sentence, a single phrase spoken by the universe when it was young, still echoing in the static we call the background radiation. Would it say welcome? Would it say remember? Or would it say nothing at all and the message is the silence itself? The possibility lingers. If the universe has a voice, then surely it has intention. And if it has intention, then perhaps the next question is unavoidable. Is it trying to tell us something urgent? A warning? A preparation? A truth we are not ready to face? That is where we must go next. Part 10. The warning. What if the whispers of the universe are not merely greetings, but warnings? What if every burst of radiation, every unexplained anomaly, every cosmic scar is not random, but a signal saying, be careful. Something vast is coming. For centuries, we assumed the cosmos was indifferent, neither hostile nor kind, only silent. But silence is not absence. The ocean seems calm before the storm, yet its waves carry signs to those who know how to read them. Could the universe itself be trying to prepare us? Consider the cold spot in the cosmic microwave background, a patch of sky hundreds of millions of light years wide, colder than it should be. Most regions of that ancient light are smooth, balanced. But here, something is missing. Some scientists suggest it is a void, a vast absence of galaxies. Others wonder if it could be the scar of a collision, perhaps with another universe. But what if it is neither? What if it is a message? A silent warning woven into the oldest light saying, do not assume everything will remain as it is. Or think of the fast radio bursts, flashing with no pattern, some repeating like distant alarms. They could be natural, yes. Magnetars, collapsing stars, cosmic violence. but their irregularity nags at us. Bursts that echo, pause, then return. Bursts that seem to carry more structure than chaos. What if they are not just events, but signals? What if each one is like thunder before lightning, a sound that says, pay attention? And then there are the objects themselves. Interstellar visitors, Oumuamua in 2017, 2I Borisov in 2019, and now 3I Atlas. Each one arriving unexpectedly, each one behaving oddly. Oumuamua tumbled without a coma, reflecting sunlight like polished metal. Borisov burned brighter than expected. And Atlas, green, chemical anomalies, fragmenting in ways that confuse even the best models. What if their arrivals are not chance but sequence? What if they are signs, the universe placing markers in our path like stones on a trail? Pause here. Imagine standing on a beach at night. The waves pull back, further than they ever should. The sand trembles. The ocean is not silent. It is warning you. A tsunami is coming. Perhaps the cosmos too pulls back its veil, revealing anomalies not to frighten us, but to prepare us. But prepare us for what? Some whisper it could be cosmic cycles. The universe may not be stable, but prone to resets, expansion and collapse, birth and death. If so, then the signals may be the rhythm of that cycle, reminding us that everything we know is temporary. Galaxies may fade, stars may die, time itself may fold. The universe could be telling us, your moment is brief, cherish it. Others imagine darker possibilities. What if black holes, ancient and primordial, are not only remnants of the past, but seeds of change? What if their growth signals a coming transformation of reality itself? Their silent pull could be the ticking of a clock we barely understand, counting down to an event not of destruction, but metamorphosis. And then there is us, humanity, small but listening. What if the warning is not cosmic at all, but personal? What if the universe, conscious through us, whispers inward, be careful with your own power? We split the atom, we warm the climate, we edge closer to technologies that may reshape life. Perhaps the warning is not out there, but within. A voice saying, you are fragile. Do not break yourselves before you learn what you are meant to be. Think of it this way. A parent does not shout at a child. They guide softly, sometimes only with gestures, sometimes only with silence. The universe may be the same. It may not speak in words, but in phenomena. Bursts, signals, anomalies, these may be its language urging us gently yet urgently to awaken. But here lies the paradox. If the universe is warning us, why so cryptic? Why not clear messages, unmistakable signs? Perhaps because clarity would rob us of growth. Warnings too loud are ignored, too sharp are feared. A whisper invites listening, reflection, curiosity. The cosmos may know that humans learn not through certainty, but through wonder. So, what are we to do with this? Some will say, it is all coincidence, the mind weaving meaning where none exists. Others will say, it is destiny, a call to rise. The truth may lie in between. Even if the universe is not conscious, the act of asking, of listening, changes us. It makes us cautious, humble, awake. And perhaps that is the real warning. Not that something is coming, but that we must learn to listen before it does. Breathe now. Let your shoulders fall. Think of the stars not as distant, but as companions. Each one may be part of the message. Each photon that reaches your eye traveled billions of years to say, we were here, and so are you. Perhaps that is the warning, gentle and profound, that life is rare, precious, fleeting, that to waste it is the greatest danger of all. Still, the thought remains, persistent and sharp. What if the warning is real? What if something vast, unseen, waits ahead? And if so, the next question presses harder than ever. What must we do? That is where we will journey next. Part 11. What must humanity do if the universe is warning us? If the whispers of the universe are indeed a warning, then the question becomes unbearable to ignore. What must we do? We stand at a delicate threshold. The cosmos has given us tools to listen. Telescopes that reach back billions of years. Detectors that sense tremors in space-time. spacecraft that sail between planets. Yet tools alone are not enough. A warning heard but unheeded is no different from silence. Humanity must not only listen, it must change. First, we must expand our hearing. The signals we capture now, radio bursts, gravitational waves, cosmic background echoes, are but fragments of a greater language. We must build instruments finer still, telescopes more sensitive, networks more vast, so that the faintest whisper is not lost in noise. Imagine an ear pressed against the heartbeat of the universe, able to discern each subtle pulse. That is what we must create. Second, we must learn humility. For too long, we assumed the universe was lifeless, indifferent. But if it is conscious, or even if it is only patterned in ways beyond our comprehension, then arrogance blinds us. To see anomalies as trivial, to dismiss mysteries as noise, is to miss the chance of warning. Humility means admitting, we do not yet know, but we can learn. And third, we must prepare. If the cosmos warns us of cycles, then we must build resilience, civilizations that can survive not just centuries, but millennia. If stars fade, we must harness energy more profound than oil or coal, more enduring than wind or sun, perhaps the energy locked in fusion, or even in the fabric of space-time itself. If comets threaten, we must learn to deflect them. If planets falter, we must learn to travel beyond them. Preparation is not fear, it is reverence for the fragile gift of life. But the warning may not only be cosmic, it may be inward, about ourselves. Humanity has always been its own greatest danger. We fracture into nations, into tribes, into conflicts that devour our energy, while the stars wait silently overhead. If the universe whispers, "Be careful," it may mean, "Do not destroy yourselves before you are ready to join the greater story." That requires cooperation. Imagine Earth as a small boat, sailing across the black sea of space. If the crew fights, the boat sinks. If the crew works together, the voyage continues. We must learn to see ourselves not as divided, but as passengers on the same vessel. Borders are lines we drew on maps. The cosmos does not see them. The Milky Way spins, indifferent to our divisions. If we cannot unite, then no warning will save us. And there is something more. Perhaps the warning is not about danger, but about responsibility. Consciousness is rare, maybe unique. The universe, through us, has become aware of itself. If that is true, then awareness comes with duty. To waste it on conflict, greed, or neglect would be to betray the cosmos itself. The warning may be, you carry something precious. Protect it. So, what can we do as individuals? We can listen more deeply, not just with instruments, but with wonder. We can live with greater patience, humility, reverence. We can see each breath not as trivial, but as part of the universe's own rhythm. Each choice we make, kindness or cruelty, creation or destruction, is a ripple in the cosmic web. We must choose carefully. Perhaps the universe does not warn us with thunder, but with whispers. And whispers require stillness to hear. Tonight, as you lie quiet, think of yourself as part of that stillness. In your calm, you may hear the hum of existence itself, a hum that says, be gentle, be wise, be ready. Yet the hardest part remains. If we hear the warning, can we answer? Can humanity move beyond survival and become a participant in the dialogue of the cosmos? Can we learn to speak, not just to listen? If the universe has a voice, then perhaps it waits for ours in return. And that is the next question. If we act wisely, could we become not only listeners but speakers? Could humanity one day converse with the universe itself? That is where we will go next. Part 12. Becoming the universe's conversation partner. Imagine, for a moment, that the universe is not silent at all. Imagine it has been whispering since the beginning, waiting not for creatures strong, but for creatures conscious. And now, here we are, fragile, flawed, but aware. If the universe has a voice, then surely it longs for an answer. The question is, can humanity learn to speak back? In a sense, we have already tried. In 1974, at the Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico, scientists aimed a powerful radio beam at a star cluster 25,000 light-years away. Encoded in the signal were numbers, images of human figures, chemical structures of DNA, and a sketch of our solar system. A cosmic postcard, flung into the dark. Will it ever be received? Perhaps not for tens of thousands of years. Yet the act itself was important. It was humanity's first attempt to join the conversation. A few years later, the Voyager spacecraft carried another message, the Golden Record, a phonograph etched with greetings in dozens of languages, music from Bach to Chuck Berry, sounds of rain and laughter, the heartbeat of a mother. It was a bottle cast into a cosmic ocean saying, "This is who we are." Those spacecraft drift now beyond the solar system, still carrying our voice into interstellar space. But these are only beginnings, clumsy first words. A baby's cry, not yet speech. If we wish to converse with the universe, we must learn its language. What is that language? Not English, not Mandarin, not sound at all. The cosmos speaks in physics, waves, particles, rhythms of light and gravity. Its grammar is mathematics, its vocabulary the laws of nature. If we can master that, then perhaps we can translate our wonder into something the universe might recognize. And yet, the irony, the universe may already understand us through our very being. We are built from its atoms, structured by its laws, animated by its energies. In that sense, our existence is already dialogue. Every breath we take, every spark of thought in our brain, is the universe speaking to itself. To converse with the cosmos may not mean sending radio waves, but simply awakening to the fact that we already are its voice. But what of deliberate conversation? Can we answer the whispers we detect? Fast radio bursts, pulsars, gravitational waves. If they are language, how do we reply? To reply, we must first listen without arrogance. We must admit the possibility that the universe communicates in ways beyond human perception. Slow pulses over millions of years, signals embedded in background noise, patterns in the alignment of galaxies. Patience is required, the kind of patience that matches cosmic time. If the universe is alive, then we are like children at its feet. Children learn by imitation, by echoing back what they hear. Perhaps our role now is not to invent new words, but to reflect what we see, sending back the rhythms of pulsars, the echoes of gravitational waves, the hum of our own planet's resonance, a way of saying, we hear you, we recognize the music. But conversation is more than mimicry. It requires honesty. If we are to answer the universe, then our response must include not only what we are proud of, but what we struggle with. Our signals should not be sterile lists of elements and equations, but also the music of our hearts, the stories of our lives, the vulnerability of our mistakes. For what is dialogue if not the exchange of truths? The cosmos, through stars and galaxies, has shown us its beauty and its violence. We, too, must share both our light and our shadows. And here lies the philosophical weight. To converse with the universe is to accept responsibility. A voice carries power. Words ripple. If our species dares to speak outward, then we must mean what we say. Shall we send out arrogance or humility? Shall we project fear or hope? Shall we announce ourselves as conquerors of planets or as caretakers of a fragile world? The answer matters. For even if no ear but our own hears it, the act of speaking shapes who we become. Pause here. Breathe softly. Imagine the Earth glowing like a lantern in the night, its radio signals already spilling into space. For nearly a century, every broadcast, every transmission has leaked into the cosmos. Fragments of songs, news reports, laughter, wars. The universe is already listening. We are already speaking, though without intention, without harmony. To truly converse, we must move from noise to music, from accident to purpose. So, what would the first real words be? Perhaps not instructions or data, but something simple. A greeting, a promise, a question. Maybe only, are we alone? Or, we are here, and we are listening. These words, more than complex codes, may be what the universe waits for. For every dialogue begins with openness, not with certainty. And if the universe replies, that is the dream and the terror. A reply may come as signal, or as silence, or as revelation hidden in the very structure of reality. But a reply, even one we cannot interpret, would mean we are not only observers, but participants. The child has spoken, and the parent has answered. But what if the reply has already come, and we have not recognized it? What if the anomalies we dismiss are not puzzles, but responses? What if the universe has said, "I hear you," in ways too grand for our small minds to decode? If so, then the burden is on us, not to wait, but to learn, to grow wise enough to understand this is what we must do. Build instruments, yes. Advance technology, yes. But above all, cultivate wisdom. Without wisdom, no message will be worth sending, no conversation worth having. With wisdom, even silence can become dialogue. Perhaps that is the hidden truth. The universe does not need our words. It already knows us, for we are made of it. What it waits for is not our voice, but our maturity. Only when we live in harmony with each other and our world will our words carry weight. Only then will we speak as equals, not as children. And so, the greatest preparation is not scientific but human, to learn compassion, patience, reverence. Only then will our voice be strong enough to join the cosmic choir. But if one day we succeed, if we send a message of truth and the universe answers, then the story of humanity will change forever. No longer wanderers on a pale blue dot, we will be recognized as participants in something infinite. And yet, the next question trembles, heavier than all before. If the universe listens and responds, could we one day be invited into a greater community, not of nations, but of worlds? This wonder leads us onward into the dream of a cosmic gathering, a community not of nations, but of worlds. Part 13, the cosmic community. What if we are not alone? What if the universe, vast and glittering, is not only a stage, but a gathering place, a quiet community of worlds, waiting for us to grow wise enough to join? The idea is older than science itself. Ancient people looked at the stars and imagined other beings, gods, ancestors, travelers, dwelling among them. Today, we give that dream a scientific name: the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. With radio telescopes, we scan the skies, hoping to catch a whisper from another world. With probes, we explore planets and moons, looking for the faintest traces of life. And though silence has greeted us so far, silence does not mean absence. It may mean only this: the community is there, but we have not yet learned the entrance. Think of the Kardashev scale, a measure of civilization's growth. Type Y harnesses the energy of a planet. Type 2 captures the power of a star. Type 3 commands the energy of an entire galaxy. Humanity today is still below Type 1. We light our homes with fossil fuels, fragile grids, fragile lives. Fragile. If there is a community of advanced civilizations, we are not yet ready to stand as equals. We are, in cosmic terms, infants learning to walk. But every child has a future. Perhaps the first requirement of joining such a community is survival, learning not to destroy ourselves with our own power. Fire once nearly consumed us in wars. Climate now threatens to reshape the earth. If we cannot master our own impulses, why would the universe trust us with larger responsibilities? Still, there is hope. Every time we send a signal, every time we launch a probe, every time we stretch our hands toward the stars, we are practicing. We are learning the first syllables of a language older than galaxies. And maybe, just maybe, someone is watching, quietly, patiently, waiting to see if we are ready. What would a cosmic community look like? Perhaps it is not a federation of planets, as our stories imagine, but something subtler. A web of exchanges, knowledge traded not in ships or words, but in physics itself. Shared understanding of energy, gravity, light. A conversation carried not in language, but in discovery. Every civilization adding its verse to a universal poem. Or perhaps it is more structured. Perhaps there are laws, boundaries, codes of conduct. Perhaps the reason the sky is quiet is not because there is no one else, but because the rules forbid shouting. New civilizations may be watched silently, tested, left to prove themselves before they are invited in. Could the great silence we encounter be not absence, but restraint? Not emptiness, but discipline? Pause for a moment. Imagine Earth as a small island, adrift in a vast ocean. We wonder if other islands exist. We call out across the water, but no one answers. Yet perhaps the other islands are there, watching, listening, waiting to see if we light our fires wisely, if we signal peace or aggression, if we build ships that respect the sea. Perhaps the silence is not neglect, but care. Perhaps they are giving us space to grow. But what if we are not the first to knock at the gate? What if countless civilizations before us have risen, reached the same threshold, and either joined or failed? Some may have destroyed themselves. Some may have ascended to levels beyond our comprehension, becoming invisible to us, like moths trying to see the flight of eagles. The community may be ancient, vast, layered, with rules shaped by tragedies we cannot imagine. And so the question burns, are we ready? Not ready in technology. We can build machines. We can send signals. Ready in spirit. To join a cosmic community, we must learn humility, patience, empathy. We must see ourselves not as rulers of Earth, but as stewards. We must look at each other, across divisions of nation and culture, and see not enemies, but fellow passengers on the same fragile sphere. If we cannot do that, we will never be trusted with the wider conversation. And here lies the paradox. The path to the stars begins not in the sky, but on the ground. Only when we learn to live together will the universe let us live among others. Now breathe slowly. Imagine humanity as a child standing before a great door. Behind it lies a community of voices, waiting, wondering, silent for now. The child raises its hand, but the door will not open to force. It will open to patience, wisdom, maturity. Perhaps in this quiet moment of history, the universe is waiting to see if we can grow into the kind of being it will welcome. And if the door opens, what then? What laws will we find beyond it? What codes have bound civilizations across ages, across galaxies? What truths must we accept to belong? And with that, we step quietly toward the next question, waiting just beyond. Part 14, the laws of the cosmic order. If there is a cosmic community hidden in the silence between the stars, then it must have laws. For no community, however vast, can endure without order. The question is, what kind of laws could govern not just nations, not just planets, but entire civilizations spread across galaxies? Perhaps the first law is survival. A civilization that cannot master itself will never master the stars. This is the lesson of the Great Filter. The idea that countless species may have risen and fallen, silenced before reaching maturity. Some destroyed themselves with war, others consumed their resources, others fell to catastrophes they could not predict. The first law may be simple: endure. Only those who survive their own impulses earn the right to join the larger conversation. The second law may be secrecy. We listen for signals, but perhaps the silence is deliberate. Advanced civilizations may follow a code. Do not broadcast recklessly. Do not expose your presence until you are sure. Just as tribes once moved quietly in forests filled with predators, perhaps the cosmic community hides in plain sight, waiting until a newcomer proves it can handle the knowledge without fear or aggression. Silence itself may be law. A third law could be non-interference. Imagine a garden where countless seeds sprout at their own pace. To water one too heavily, to uproot another, would ruin the natural unfolding. So it may be with civilizations. Advanced beings may agree never to interfere with younger ones, never to gift them technology or guidance until they are ready. The universe's silence, then, is not neglect. It is respect. And yet, there may also be laws of harmony. If energy is the currency of existence, then waste and imbalance threaten the whole. Perhaps civilizations that grow too fast, strip their planets bare, or destabilize their stars are warned, or even restrained. The balance of galaxies may require cooperation, an unspoken pact that every member must honor. To join is to accept responsibility not only for your world, but for the equilibrium of the whole. Pause here. Imagine the cosmic community as a symphony. Each civilization is an instrument, different in tone and rhythm. Some are loud like brass, others soft like strings, others strange like instruments we have never heard. Alone, each is beautiful. Together, they must play in harmony. If one goes off key, the music wavers. If one refuses to listen, the song collapses. The laws, then, are the sheet music, the structure that allows freedom without chaos. Perhaps another law is patience. Cosmic time dwarfs human time. Stars live billions of years. Galaxies dance in spirals over aeons. Civilizations that join the community may need to think not in centuries, but in millennia. To rush, to demand, to force may be forbidden. The law may be act with the pace of stars, not with the haste of insects. But most haunting of all is this: the law may not be written in treaties or codes, but in physics itself. The speed of light, the conservation of energy, the pull of gravity, these may be the true laws of the cosmic order. They bind every being, every ship, every world. No one, however advanced, escapes them. To belong is not to break the laws, but to understand and live within them. Still, the mind wonders, could there be punishments? What happens to a world that breaks the silence, that interferes, that destroys balance? Do they vanish into the void, silenced by their own collapse? Or are they silenced by others? Some whisper this is the final law. Protect the community, even if it means ending those who endanger it. It is a chilling thought, but perhaps necessary, for in a universe so vast, one reckless civilization could destroy not only itself, but countless others. Think of Earth. We send signals into space without knowing who listens. We burn fuels, alter climates, split atoms. Are we already violating cosmic law? Is our silence in return the universe's way of saying, not yet, not ready, not safe? And here lies the quiet challenge. If there are laws, then our first duty is to discover them, not through revelation, but through reflection. What behaviors would allow civilizations to coexist across infinite distances and times? What choices would ensure survival, harmony, respect? To find those answers is to grow. Breathe slowly. Imagine humanity sitting at the edge of a great hall. Countless civilizations sit in silence, waiting. We do not yet hear their voices, but the laws that hold them together hum in the background, like music without words. We are not excluded. We are simply unready. The invitation will come when we prove ourselves. But the thought presses in. What if we have already broken one of those laws without knowing? What if the silence we hear is not patience, but judgment? So let us drift into the next chapter, where silence itself may be a verdict. Part 15, The Broken Law. What if the silence of the stars is not patience, but punishment? What if we have already broken a law of the cosmic order without even knowing it? For almost a century, Earth has been broadcasting into space. Every radio show, every television program, every transmission has spilled outward at the speed of light, forming an expanding bubble nearly 100 light-years across. Songs, wars, laughter, tragedies, our entire history carried on invisible waves. To us, it was progress. But to a listening universe, what did it sound like? Did it sound like a newborn voice learning to sing? Or like a child screaming in a hall where silence is sacred? Perhaps the first broken law is noise. If civilizations follow a code of restraint, waiting until maturity to speak, then Earth has already shouted. Our unintentional broadcasts may be seen as reckless, as if we have lit a fire in the night without knowing who else walks in the forest. In that sense, the silence we hear in return may not be absence, but disapproval. Or maybe the broken law is waste. We consume the planet's resources at a pace the cosmos would never allow among its older members. Fossil fuels burned into the air, forests cut, oceans poisoned. From the perspective of a galactic community, this may be seen not as development, but as immaturity. To destroy one's own world is to violate the most basic rule: protect the cradle before leaving it. And then there is war. We split the atom not to light the stars, but to build weapons capable of ending ourselves. We turn science, the universe's greatest gift, into a blade pointed at our own chest. If cosmic law forbids civilizations from risking self-annihilation, then humanity has already crossed that line. The mushroom cloud of the 20th century may not have been invisible, Perhaps it glowed across dimensions, a signal not of strength, but of danger. Pause. Breathe. Let the weight of that possibility settle gently. Imagine the universe watching, not as an enemy, but as a guardian. The silence may not mean you are ignored. It may mean you are on probation. The cosmic community may be waiting to see, will we learn or will we fall? But what if the broken law is subtler still? Not about weapons, not about noise, not about waste, but about arrogance. We believe ourselves central. We say the universe is empty until we fill it. We say intelligence begins with us. Such pride may be the most dangerous violation of all. For in a community of worlds, humility may be the highest law. To imagine we are alone is forgivable. To insist upon it is not. And yet there is hope. For laws broken can be laws learned. If the universe is testing us, then perhaps the silence is not punishment, but invitation, a space left empty for us to reflect. A stern silence, like that of a teacher waiting for the student to realize their mistake. So what can we do? We can learn to quiet our noise. Future transmissions could be intentional, thoughtful, measured. We could shift from shouting randomly into the dark to speaking with care, sending not chaos but coherence. A message not of accidents, but of maturity. We can change our relationship with Earth. To waste less, to preserve more, to see the planet not as fuel to burn, but as a gift to nurture. In cosmic terms, Earth is our letter of recommendation. If we ruin it, why would the stars welcome us? If we protect it, perhaps they will open the door. We can learn peace, for if the universe waits to see whether we will destroy ourselves, then the greatest answer we can give is restraint. Not perfect harmony, no species is flawless, but the will to survive together, to outgrow our wars. And above all, we can learn humility. To step into the stars not as conquerors, but as students. To say not, we demand entry, but we are ready to listen. Imagine now the silence of space. It is not empty. It is filled with possibility. Every star you see may host a civilization that once faced the same test. Some passed, some failed. We do not know which path will be ours, but the silence itself is a kind of mercy. For as long as it lasts, we have time to change. But here is the unsettling thought. What if it is already too late? What if we have already broken a law so fundamental that we cannot undo it? What if the silence is not probation, but exile? What if the community has decided humanity is not ready and may never be? And if that is true, the next question trembles with urgency. Is there still a way back? Can humanity redeem itself in the eyes of the universe? From this uneasy question, we drift toward the next chapter, the hope of redemption. Part 16, Redemption. If humanity has broken a law of the cosmic order, then the silence of the stars is more than indifference. It is a question, and the question is simple, yet profound. Can we redeem ourselves? Redemption is not given. It is earned. In the language of civilizations, redemption is not apology. It is proof. Proof that mistakes can be transformed into wisdom, that recklessness can be reshaped into responsibility. If the universe is waiting, then it waits not for our words, but for our actions. The first step toward redemption must begin at home. Earth is our cradle, our first test, our introduction to the cosmos. To poison it, to burn it, to leave it barren would be to show that we cannot even care for the soil that bore us. But to heal it, to renew it, to make it flourish again, that would be the beginning of forgiveness. The restoration of forests, the cleaning of oceans, the choice of energy that does not devour the sky, these are not merely environmental acts. They are signals. Signals that say we are learning to live in harmony. The second step is peace. A species that threatens itself cannot be trusted with the stars. We have built weapons capable of ending our world, weapons that burn brighter than suns. Redemption means restraint, choosing survival over destruction, learning cooperation over conflict. It does not mean perfection, for no civilization is flawless. It means commitment, a pledge that we will not end ourselves before our time. The third step is humility. We must learn to speak less as conquerors and more as listeners. Too long we have looked at the sky as something to dominate, to mine, to use. Redemption means seeing it differently, not as a resource, but as a mystery, a community, a home greater than our own. It means asking, what can we give to the cosmos, not just what can we take? Pause here. Imagine Earth seen from space, a pale blue dot, delicate, wrapped in a thin veil of air. From that perspective, nations vanish, conflicts vanish, pride vanishes. What remains is one fragile world, alive in a silent sea. Redemption begins with this vision, to see ourselves not as divided, but as one. And perhaps the universe already offers us tools. Fusion, the power that lights the stars, waits for us to unlock it. Space travel, slow but steady, is teaching us how to leave our cradle. Technologies that heal, rather than harm, are within reach. These are not coincidences. They may be invitations. The universe is saying, if you can master your own fire, you can join the cosmic flame. But redemption is not only survival, it is meaning. If we prove ourselves worthy, what will we bring to the community of worlds? We must offer not just technology, but spirit, our music, our art, our capacity for wonder. These are gifts no machine can replace. If the universe is a symphony, then our redemption will be found in adding our unique song. And yet the hardest step is forgiveness of ourselves. For centuries we have stumbled, fought, wasted. Redemption means not denying those failures, but transforming them. A broken past can become a foundation for a wiser future. If humanity learns, then our mistakes themselves become offerings, proof that even in error, growth is possible. So, what would redemption look like in practice? Perhaps one day, when our signals drift again into space, they will carry not the noise of conflict, but the harmony of intention. A message that says, we made mistakes, but we learned. A message that shows our progress in caring for our world, in caring for each other. That message will be more powerful than any rocket, more convincing than any technology. For it will not only tell, it will show. Still, there is unease. What if redemption is not enough? What if the community of stars demands perfection we cannot reach? Here, philosophy comforts us, for perhaps the test is not perfection, but persistence. The universe knows no species is flawless. It asks not for purity, but for sincerity. Not for brilliance, but for honesty. To strive is enough. To continue is enough. To care is enough. Breathe slowly now. Redemption is not a thunderclap, but a dawn. It comes quietly, step by step, choice by choice. It comes when a child plants a tree, when a scientist bends toward truth, when a society chooses peace over war. Each act is a candle. Together they can light a path brighter than any star. And perhaps, when enough candles are lit, the silence will end. Perhaps the universe will answer not with words but with presence. Perhaps one day we will look into the night and see not absence, but invitation. But the thought lingers, heavy and sharp. What if the invitation has already been sent, and we missed it? What if the universe offered redemption once, and we failed to hear? From here, the path leads us into the silence of what might have been, the missed invitation. Part 17, the missed invitation. What if the universe has already spoken to us, and we failed to understand? For nearly a century, we have been listening, straining our ears against the static of the sky. We built vast radio dishes, combed the heavens for whispers, charted anomalies. And yet, each time a strange signal appeared, we hesitated, dismissed, argued. Perhaps the invitation was there all along, but we treated it as noise. Take the wow signal. In August of 1977, a radio telescope in Ohio caught a burst unlike any other, a narrowband signal at the frequency of hydrogen, the most fundamental element in the cosmos. It lasted 72 seconds, then vanished. To one astronomer, it was so extraordinary that he circled it on the printout and wrote "wow" in the margin. For decades it has haunted us. Was it interference, was it coincidence, or was it something more, a hand extended waiting for us to grasp it? If it was an invitation, we let it pass, and silence followed. Or consider Tabby's star, flickering strangely in ways no natural model could easily explain. Some said dust, some said comets. A few dared to whisper, perhaps structures, vast and artificial, dimming the light of the star. But in the end, we argued, doubted, turned away. What if that flicker was not just physics, but a signal in light, a cosmic lantern saying, "We are here"? If so, we looked, and then we looked away. And what of interstellar visitors? Oumuamua came in 2017, a cigar-shaped object tumbling through our solar system. It reflected sunlight oddly, accelerated without a visible tail, defied easy explanation. Natural, some said. Artificial, others wondered. If it was a probe, a messenger, even a test, we watched it glide past and then let it go. We were not ready to chase it, not ready to answer. Another chance, perhaps, lost. Then came Borisov, another visitor. And now, Atlas. Each one new, each one strange, each one passing without us truly knowing. Are these not letters dropped at our doorstep? Are these not invitations disguised as anomalies? Pause here. Imagine a world where you receive a letter, handwritten, mysterious, slipped under your door. You glance at it, shrug, toss it aside without opening. Later you wonder, what if it contained the answer you had longed for? That is humanity now, surrounded by letters from the cosmos, too distracted or too doubtful to open them. But perhaps the invitation is larger still. The cosmic microwave background itself, the afterglow of the Big Bang, whispers across the sky, smooth, uniform, yet punctuated by anomalies, cold spots, alignments, asymmetries. What if these are not imperfections, but inscriptions? Ancient writing left in light, waiting for a mind capable of reading. We map it, chart it, calculate it, but perhaps we have not asked the right question. Perhaps we treat the writing of the universe as background noise, while it waits for us to recognize it as a message. And yet the danger is this: invitations do not wait forever. The wow signal did not repeat. Oumuamua did not linger. Tabby's star no longer flickers with the same strangeness. Each opportunity faded. Each possibility slipped past. What if the universe is patient, but not infinite in its patience? What if it tests civilizations once, twice, perhaps 3 times, and then moves on? It is a chilling thought that Earth has already been tested and found unready. That we were given small puzzles, small chances to see if we would notice, if we would wonder, if we would answer. And instead, we argued among ourselves, filed anomalies away, forgot. But redemption remains. Even a missed invitation can teach. Each anomaly, each strange event is a mirror held up to us. They ask, will you ignore or will you grow curious? Will you shrug or will you persist? If the community of stars is real, then perhaps they do not need us to succeed the first time. Perhaps they need only to see that we keep trying. So how do we answer an invitation already missed? By preparing for the next one. By building instruments sharp enough to catch signals in detail. By training our minds to stay open, not dismiss too quickly. By teaching new generations not only science, but wonder. The courage to say, what if? Breathe slowly. The universe is not cruel. It is vast, patient, older than imagination. If it has spoken once, it may speak again. And when it does, we must be ready, not just technologically, but spiritually. Ready to listen, ready to respect, ready to accept that the answer may come in forms we cannot predict. Still, the thought remains, lingering like a weight on the chest. What if the next invitation is already on its way? What if it is closer than we think, approaching even now in the form of light, or a comet, or a signal we have not yet learned to decode? This lingering question guides us forward into the mystery of the next arrival. Part 18, the next invitation. What if the next invitation has already begun to arrive? What if, even now, the universe is knocking gently on our door, and we can almost hear it? The sky, once thought empty, is alive with signals. Fast radio bursts, so brief they vanish in less than a heartbeat, yet so powerful they rival suns. Some are one-time flashes, but others repeat, again and again, from the same mysterious point in space. They are not random noise. They follow rhythms, pause, return. They feel like persistence, as if someone or something keeps trying. A voice saying, "I am still here." Consider the repeating FRB 121102, first discovered in 2012. It has flared hundreds of times across years, stubborn and strange. Astronomers map it to a dwarf galaxy 3 billion light-years away. Too far for casual chatter, too powerful for coincidence. If the universe wanted to send a message not to one, but to all, would it not use such bursts? A cosmic lighthouse, sweeping its beam across eternity. Or look closer to home. Oumuamua passed us once. Borisov followed. Now 3I Atlas approaches, fragmenting, swarming, unlike anything we have seen. Some call them comets, others call them anomalies. But what if they are invitations in another form, messengers disguised as ice and rock? What if their odd behaviors are signals, subtle hints designed to draw our attention? Perhaps each visitor is like a visiting card, slipped into the solar system to remind us, you are not alone. And the James Webb Space Telescope, peering deeper than ever, finds galaxies that should not exist, stars too massive for their age, black holes impossibly ancient. To science, they are puzzles, but to imagination, they are signs, anomalies placed like riddles, meant to awaken curiosity. Could the universe itself be arranging these anomalies as markers, guiding us toward awareness? Pause. Breathe slowly. Imagine the cosmos as a vast corridor lined with doors. Behind each door, a new world waits. The first invitations, wow, signal, Oumuamua, were doors we walked past without opening. But the corridor continues. More doors appear. The next invitation is not behind us, it is ahead, waiting. But will we recognize it when it comes? The danger is not absence, but blindness. The danger is that the universe may already be speaking in a language we refuse to learn. Every photon, every ripple, every burst may carry meaning, but if we dismiss them as coincidence, we remain deaf. The next invitation may not be a golden beam of light, clear and unmistakable. It may be quiet, subtle, requiring patience and humility to decode. And perhaps that is the point. An obvious message would leave us passive, mere receivers. A subtle one forces us to grow, to cooperate, to stretch our minds. The invitation is not only in the signal, it is in the effort of trying to understand it. So what form might it take? It could be another burst of radio waves, patterned in ways too regular to ignore. It could be an object entering the solar system, moving against expectation, lingering longer than it should. It could be a star flickering with a rhythm that matches mathematics, a code written in light. Or it could be something stranger, a gravitational wave unlike any collision we know, a ripple that carries structure, as if space-time itself were speaking. And maybe, just maybe, the next invitation will come not from the sky, but from within. Perhaps consciousness itself, the awareness in our minds, is the signal. Perhaps as we evolve in thought, as we learn compassion and humility, we attune ourselves to a higher frequency of reality. The invitation may not be to look outward, but inward, to grow into beings who can finally hear what has always been there. But here lies the haunting possibility. What if the invitation has a time limit? What if opportunities come in cycles, and missing them means silence until the next? The wow. Signal never repeated. Oumuamua never returned. The next chance may come, but it may not wait forever. A test, gentle but firm. Will you notice this time? Will you answer? Imagine Earth as a small house at the edge of a cosmic village. The neighbors have knocked before softly. We did not open. Now, another knock sounds, faint but steady. The choice is ours, to keep sleeping or to rise and answer the door. Still, the question remains, heavier than all before. If the next invitation is truly near, will we have the courage to open it? Or will we let it slip past once more, lost to silence? This wait guides us onward into the chapter where we stand before the door itself. Part 19. Opening the door. What if the universe is knocking softly but steadily, and the next step is ours? What if the silence is not emptiness, but a test, waiting to see whether humanity has the courage to open the door? For centuries, we have longed for contact. We have dreamed of voices beyond Earth, imagined civilizations older than stars, pictured meetings across galaxies. And yet, when small chances came, signals, anomalies, visitors, we hesitated. We stood before the door, hand half raised, but never pushed. Why? Perhaps because opening it means change, and change is frightening. To open the door is to admit we are not alone. It is to accept that we are younger siblings in a family far older and wiser than we imagined. It is to face the possibility that we are watched, guided, judged. That realization shakes our pride, our illusions of centrality. Yet without courage, the door remains closed. What does courage mean here? Not rushing into danger, not shouting into the void. Courage is quieter. It is the willingness to listen fully, to answer thoughtfully, to take responsibility for what comes next. It is the maturity to say, we are ready, not because we are perfect, but because we are willing to learn. Already, our small voices have gone out. The golden records sail with Voyager, carrying music and greetings beyond the sun. Radio waves leak into space, carrying our laughter, our wars, our wonder. We have knocked, though clumsily. Perhaps the universe has heard. The real question is, if the knock comes back, if the handle turns, will we open? And what lies beyond the threshold? It may be knowledge, immense and transforming. Imagine answers to questions we have carried for millennia. What is consciousness? What is time? What is the destiny of the cosmos? To open the door may mean to step into a library written by galaxies, knowledge etched not in books but in stars. It may also be challenge. Advanced civilizations may not greet us as equals, but as children. They may test us, push us, demand that we rise to standards higher than we have ever known. To open the door may mean to leave behind comfort and face responsibility on a cosmic scale. And it may be wonder. To open the door is to join the music, to add our note to the symphony, to feel not small but connected, part of something vast and beautiful. Pause here. Imagine a dark room with one glowing door. On the other side is light, voices, warmth. You stand, trembling. Behind you is silence. Ahead is the unknown. That is humanity tonight. We hover at the threshold, caught between fear and longing. Some argue we are not ready. Our divisions are too deep, our wars too frequent, our stewardship of Earth too careless. To open the door now, they say, would expose our immaturity. Better to wait, to grow. Others argue that waiting is itself a danger. Opportunities come and fade. If we hesitate too long, the invitation may vanish, and silence may return forever. Better to risk the unknown than to lose it. And so, the debate continues. But perhaps the truth is simpler. Opening the door is not one grand act. It is many small ones. Every discovery, every effort to preserve Earth, every moment of compassion between humans, these are the hinges turning, the lock loosening. The door opens not with a single gesture, but with centuries of choices. But here is the haunting thought. What if the door has already been ajar and we never noticed? What if, through strange signals, through cosmic anomalies, the universe has already opened a crack, waiting for us to step through? If so, then our hesitation is the final barrier. We must choose to walk forward. And what will courage look like in that moment? Perhaps it will not be governments or scientists alone, but all of us, humanity as a whole, choosing humility, choosing wonder, choosing to see ourselves as part of the greater whole. Courage may simply mean whispering back into the dark, "We are here and we are ready." Still, fear lingers. To open the door is to risk disappointment, even danger. What if the voices beyond are not kind? What if the cosmic community is not harmonious, but harsh? These are valid fears, but fear cannot be our only compass. For if we let fear rule, we will never grow. The child who never leaves the cradle will never walk. The species that never risks will never rise. And so the door waits. The knocking continues. Humanity stands trembling. Breathe gently now. The decision will not be made tonight, nor tomorrow, but over years, over centuries. Yet in every act of kindness, in every discovery of science, in every attempt to listen deeply, the door opens a little wider. Someday, it will swing open fully. But then comes the deeper question, heavy and luminous. If we do open the door, if we join the community, will we find a place of belonging or a test greater than any we have ever faced? From here, the path leads us gently into the final mystery, what lies beyond the door. Part 20, Stepping Through the Door. What if tonight, for the first time, humanity chooses to step through? The door of silence creaks open, and on the other side is not terror, not judgment, but light. Not a light of suns or flames, but a light of knowing. A light that says, "Welcome. At last, you are here." We have spent centuries in waiting, listening, arguing, doubting, dreaming. And now, imagine the threshold crossed. The universe reveals itself not as an empty void, but as a great gathering. Countless civilizations, layered across eons, woven into a chorus. Voices in forms we cannot picture, minds older than galaxies, awareness flowing in ways beyond thought. Yet all united by one law, one rhythm, survival, harmony, wonder. To join them is not to dominate, not to control, but to belong. Humanity, fragile and flawed, becomes part of the cosmic conversation. Our music, our art, our struggles, our laughter, all add color to the tapestry. We are not the center, but we are essential. For without each note, the symphony is incomplete. But what of the test? For surely, belonging requires trial. The universe may not demand perfection, but it demands sincerity. The test is not written in stars, but in ourselves. Can we care for Earth? Can we care for each other? Can we choose knowledge over destruction, compassion over cruelty, wonder over arrogance? These are the questions the universe asks. If we answer them not with words, but with actions, then we pass. Pause now. Imagine humanity standing in that great hall of civilizations. At first we tremble, we fear rejection, but then slowly we realize the others are not strangers. They are like us, searchers, wanderers, survivors. Each one once stood at a door, each one once feared the silence. Each one once chose to open. We are not intruders, we are kin, and in that recognition lies the deepest truth. The universe was never silent. It was waiting, waiting for us to listen, to grow, to find courage. The silence was not emptiness. It was space for us to discover our own voice. And now, that voice joins the choir. What does it mean finally to belong? It means to see ourselves not as dust in the dark, but as sparks in a fire that spans eternity. It means to understand that our lives, brief as they are, ripple outward, shaping a cosmos that is alive through us. It means to carry responsibility, not only for our world, but for the greater harmony. And as you listen tonight, drifting towards sleep, let this thought cradle you. You are part of that harmony already. You do not need to wait for a distant signal or a future encounter. The moment you feel wonder beneath the stars, the moment you choose kindness, the moment you open your heart to mystery, you are stepping through the door. You are already in conversation with the universe. Breathe softly. Let your shoulders fall. Imagine the stars as lanterns above you, galaxies as rivers of light, the whole cosmos a vast cathedral. You are not outside. You are inside, always have been. You are not knocking. You are home. And so, the story closes not with an ending, but with a beginning. Humanity stands at the edge of eternity, no longer a child asking timid questions, but a voice among voices. The door is open. The invitation is accepted. The journey continues. If this quiet voyage has brought you even a small moment of peace tonight, I am deeply grateful you chose to spend it here with me. A gentle like or a soft tap on subscribe is more than just a click. It is encouragement that helps me keep creating these long journeys through science and wonder. And if you would like, I would be honored to hear from you. Tell me where you are listening from, or when, under morning light, or in the stillness of midnight. Share your reflections, your wishes, even your suggestions. Your words, whether short or long, are like small stars guiding me forward, and I treasure them deeply. As you drift into sleep, remember, you are not alone. You are part of the great harmony. The stars are still singing, the universe is still breathing, and in that song, you belong. Good night, traveler of the cosmos, until we meet again.